It ended up costing me sort of 2 weeks and $8,000, but for a high-end house, it's multi-million-dollar development, $8,000 in the grand scheme of things. I mean, that's that's the pool table. Yeah. So I think money well spent.
You touched on it before. I'd be keen to hear that story of how you engaged or how you found your architect, because that was quite interesting. How you said you put it out to a bit of a competition, and maybe talk me through that a little bit more.
Yeah. So. Big decision, right? And I was looking at different fee proposals from architects, and they're charging anywhere from sort of 5 to 8% of the value of a house. So it's a fairly substantial invoice. In my business, if I'm bidding for a piece of work that large, I'm putting a fair bit of time and effort into a proposal in order to win that work. So I thought, all right, so how do you normally get this from an architect? And most of the architects are like, here's my fee proposal and here's the work that I've done and that's it. And I was like, well, I kind of want more than that. Okay. So I said to 4 architects, I said, look, I'll pay you each for 1 day of work, right? And you can do as much work as you like, but I'll pay you for a day. And here's my brief. You've got 1 day of your hourly rate, and the hourly rates are anything from $200 to $300 an hour for 8 hours. Spend a day on this, or spend as long as you like, and just come back to me with your idea. And this is what I want. Here's a dodgy sketch that I've done in Microsoft Visio. So I drew it. I said, here's a triangular block, and here's the house, and everything is to scale. So I had the survey plans done. I had all of the bedrooms drawn in. I had a big 4-car garage, which is something that I wanted originally. And I had most of the requirements sketched out, but just really badly organised. Yeah. And I gave that to all the architects, and I said, all right, just come back to me. One of them flat out said, no, that's not the way that we work. And I was like, that's cool. See you later.
Off the list, yeah.
And 3 of them came back. One of them did an amazing design, a really highly regarded architect in Sydney. And he was the one that I kind of wanted to win, because I'd looked at a bunch of the stuff and I was like, yeah, this guy's cool. Amazing design. Nowhere near the brief, completely, it was just architecturally amazing, but not livable in any way, shape or form. I was like, how can no one can live in this house? It looks really cool, but it's not what I want. Yeah. One of them came back and it was pretty good. Katie came back and it just nailed the livability. Every single thing that I wanted in the brief was there, plus some extra ideas, like the pool bathroom and separate rumpus room, and all that kind of better flow. And I was like, yes, this is. I had the trust then that the design of the house was going to be sort of compatible with the idea of building a forever home, and not an architectural masterpiece with livability second. Yeah. And so yeah, I was completely comfortable with that from day one, and it turned out to be the right call because the house ticks all the boxes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, because that is such a challenge when you're doing such a big project and an amazing project like this, that it becomes too architectural and not livable. So that's interesting that you had those 2 submissions, and that you went for the more livable one.
Yeah,
rather than...
and I mean, it ended up costing me sort of 2 weeks and $8,000.
2 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
But I think in terms of the end result, given the size of the project, you could have easily done it for less than that. But for a high-end house, it's multi-million-dollar development, $8,000 in the grand scheme of things. I mean, that's that's the pool table. Yeah. So I think money well spent.
No, I think the ROI on that is definitely stacks up.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's a really interesting idea. I think I'm going to emulate that in the future. But and so when you did this competition, what was the kind of submissions that they were giving back? Was it floor plan sketches? Can you maybe talk me through that?
Yeah.
process?
So one of them, which I really liked, one of them was just a hand drawn sketch, and I thought that was actually a really good approach, because I didn't want something super polished. It was more about the idea and the process than it was about a polished result. So that was that. One of them was a full 3D model fly-through, like a fully rendered, fly-through AVI of here is the house. Wow. So I spent a fair bit of time and effort, way more than a day, putting it all together.
Wow.
One of them was 2D floor plans with, I think there was a single static 3D shot of that. It was pretty basic, like it was just black and white, wireframe kind of thing. So it was that. It was reasonably wide range.
That is a wide range, yeah. Okay, cool.